Hi, my name is JW and this is Road to Reversing. And in this second episode, I'm going to be talking about tools and techniques. The three tools I'm going to be covering in this video shortly will be the de facto standard of the industry called IDA, and its free component instead of the IDA Pro version. Then an upcoming star called BinaryNinja or Binja, and then another tool called Radare 2 or R2, depending on how you want to pronounce it. In addition to these, I will provide a little bit of an example of how I've been using Binja to do some reversing, and a little bit about the next steps for this this series and my learning this craft. So let's get on with the show, and let's start with IDA. And I have here the free version. So basically the current version of IDA is at 6 point something, and they offer the previous first release, so 5.0, they offer for free. So once they get to IDA 7, you will get 6.0 for free, effectively, with this scheme. I don't have the inclination of purchasing the IDA Starter Edition for approximately €600 that will only be able to disassemble 32-bit binaries, so I have not purchased IDA. Maybe sometime in the future my future company will be able to do that for me, but currently it's not in my job description, so I don't have a pro license. Let's get on with it. As you will notice, I'm running Windows. This is a Windows VM, just so that I'm able to show you IDA. I don't actually use it because I've used it in the past and deemed that it wasn't for me. So I disassemble a new PE executable, and I choose this CrackMe I've gotten from CrackMe, so I'll link it. And let's just go next. And here you can see IDA actually analyzing the code. And I must put a disclaimer right here. I am not competent in IDA. I'm just telling you from a reversing newbie's perspective how IDA felt, what my feelings interacting with it were. So basically, here you can see the main window it drops me in. I wouldn't have any idea where to go from here. For some reason, it doesn't show me the call graph. If I go to functions and I go to, I think it was this dialog function, I actually get to the start of the program. And here's a few different paths it takes. The program printing out dialog or asking for the actual the actual code itself. You can see it nicely shows me in comments what these strings are in the memory, and basically this is a very powerful tool. But all of this here just reminds me of Windows 2000 era Office software, like so many toolbars. Of course you can configure it and customize it, but it feels clunky. It doesn't feel modern. I don't know what the situation is with IDA 6, but basically this feels very clunky to me, and I wasn't a fan of this, to be honest. This does have a debugger, so that makes everything quite a lot easier. Next up we have the BinaryNinja. So this is, I opened the same exact file, and you will see that it straight away takes me to the start of the program. Same sort of branches, and here is the actual code that you will follow and reverse engineer. And this I will just show you quickly. Look, this is what it looks like once I started doing some comments here. So all of these behind the scenes, for example, naming this item here is by my understanding of this code. I like the look and feel of it. It's scriptable with Python. I like that. I like to build tools, and I sort of it feels less intrusive, less menus, less everything, and more focus on the actual code. Of course, this has many many less features than IDA Pro, but that's just the nature of the beast. This costs $99 for a personal license. I've been personally using it, and I will show you some examples. And then we have Radar, which is free open source software, but it's the learning curve is quite extreme. So here you see I opened it with R2 and this crack me file. Then I type 3A's, which is basically doing a lot of analysis on this disassembly. And then I just print disassembly of function. So every single command in Radare is a single letter. Every single letter means something different. And you can do this P question mark and then PD question mark and so forth to learn these. This is basically, if I were to compare, I would say IDA into software development. IDA is a full IDE environment like Visual Studio or IDEA from IntelliJ or any like NetBeans and that sort of stuff. It has all the tools, but it's also the biggest. Then I would say BinaryNinja is sort of like Sublime Text or maybe Notepad++. So it's very, very simple, very fast to use, and comes with plugins. And then I would say that Radare is like, I would say, Vim. It also comes with plugins, but the learning curve is quite steep. It's quite esoteric in its commands. But once you learn it, I'm sure you can be really, really efficient. Just to show you, I know this because I've looked at the file, so you would have to use other commands to figure out what the entry points are, or what the block names are. I don't remember what the command for printing those is, so I will just show you this. So by default, it will just print out the full disassembly for me. Nice color coding, I like that. I've chosen a color scheme called Cobalt. Pretty good like ASCII lines showing basically the same sort of graph as in BinaryNinja and IDA. It will even show me rename these variables already to be basically the string it represents. And this is a very nice addition. Some of these Win32 API calls are already documented as a comment, so you can see the signature of the API being called. So I know that, okay, this is a window handle, this is the LP text, this is the caption here, and this is the whatever is the UI int type of the dialog being sent. So basically here you would start again commenting stuff and creating functions and so forth. I've managed to do one I think CTF or crack me with Radare, but I basically was following a tutorial on it and I don't remember any of those things I did in that tutorial. For me, BinaryNinja is the choice I went with, and basically I was happy enough to pay the license for this, and this is what it looks like. So basically for me, I know that there are debuggers. This is basically focusing on static analysis. There are also debuggers that basically will run your code and you're able to read the disassembly as it is in memory. I want my code to be still for now, so I can just learn all of these operators that are available so that I can learn the disassembly or the actual assembly language. So I will just go through this line by line, understand what it does, understand what these functions do, because if you look at this, for example here, it does something and basically calls some function 4 times, and I don't know what that function is. If I double click that, it does some things here, and I need to figure out what it's actually doing in order for me to rename it, for example, rotate 48. That's the basic process of it. I will go through the process of disassembly more in an upcoming video. I just wanted to show you these 3 tools that I used for that. And I'm already at the 10-minute mark. I will just say that next steps, I think I want something a little bit more structured. So my next step will be to follow open security trainings intermediate x86 class. I've already done the intro class, as mentioned in the previous post. I want to do the intermediate class with all of the labs so that I can get better and I can have some structure that do this, do this, do this, and then come back to reversing. I think that's enough for the video. I will continue in the blog post with some additional details.